In the early 2000s, Tom Cruise was the biggest star in Hollywood. He earned $25 million for his roles in movies and demanded a percentage of the box office profits. Some people managed to limit the actor's appetites by 10%, some by 20%, while others ended up with a 30% reduction right away. In this field, the only real competition he had was Will Smith, who earned $20 million for each of his roles, plus a percentage of the box office. Thanks to similar contracts, Tom Cruise was able to make $50 million, even for smaller films like Jerry Maguire. However, since the studios were also making good profits from movie releases, they went along with him for a long time and agreed to all his demands. The fairy tale for Tom Cruise ended in 2006 with the release of the movie Mission: Impossible 3. Welcome to the Good Bad Movie Channel, and we're getting started. From 1990 to 2006, Tom Cruise only had one box office failure with the film Vanilla Sky, which was released in 2001. For his role in the movie, he earned $20 million, plus 30% of the box office revenue. The movie's box office earnings turned out to be disappointing. The studio Paramount, responsible for Vanilla Sky, was very dissatisfied with Tom Cruise. As a result, the third film in the Mission: Impossible franchise, which was owned by the studio, couldn't get into production for a long 5 years. The thing is, for the sequel to the box office hit, Tom Cruise wanted even more money. Negotiations with Tom Cruise's production company were tough, as the actor refused to star in the threequel for just a fixed fee. In the end, the studio decided to make concessions, believing that the $550 million earned by the second installment of the franchise would satisfy both the studio and the actor. The studio was hoping to receive exactly this amount with the third film as well. Tom Cruise was paid $25 million upfront, and he was set to earn another $50 million from box office sales. Interestingly, Tom Cruise received the $50 million first, meaning that all the initial box office revenue went directly to him. Only after that did the studio start to make a profit. If they had raised $550 million, everything would have been fine for everyone, but then something went wrong. The box office earnings for the third installment totaled only $390 million, making it the weakest box office performance of the franchise so far. For the studio, it was a disaster. They spent $150 million on the film and another $75 million on marketing. To break even, the studio needed to make at least $450 million. Not only did the studio spend $225 million on the film, but they only made back $195 million. On top of that, Tom Cruise had to give $50 million of that back. As a result of the film's release, the studio ended up with a loss of nearly $100 million, which is a significant amount that's hard to recover from, even with strong video sales. Paramount Studios immediately terminated its contract with Tom Cruise because he was accused of being involved in such earnings. When the movie was released, the actor was at the center of a scandal related to his public behavior. According to the studio, not only did the actor cost them $50 million, but his actions also worsened the situation surrounding the film. After the scandal, Cruise and his production company went off on their own and tried to revive the once great Hollywood studio United Artists. However, the dark clouds hanging over the actor made it impossible for him to succeed. All of his projects made for this studio were received very mediocrely. His acting career took a nosedive 4 years after the release of the third installment, with his films earning less and less money, and his fees dropping significantly. He was no longer receiving any percentage from box office earnings, so in 2011, Cruise went back to Paramount Studios to save his career. He needed a hit, and the easiest way to achieve that was to make the fourth film in the Mission: Impossible franchise. Since Paramount Studios was also going through tough times, and their only successful franchise was Transformers, profits from which had to be shared with toy manufacturers, they decided to accommodate Cruise, but only on their own terms. The actor received a fee of only $12 million, plus he was promised 5% of the future film's profits. This means that this time Tom Cruise would only earn his percentage if the movie starts making a profit. The budget for the movie Mission: Impossible Ghost Protocol was $145 million, and it grossed $694 million at the box office, resulting in a profit for everyone involved. To be more precise, not everyone is affected, but once again, Jeremy Renner is at a loss. Paramount Studios was planning to reboot the franchise with Renner in the lead role if the fourth film performed poorly at the box office. The studio officially announced the desire to create a spin-off with Renner, and that's why the actor signed on for the film. However, the success of Phantom quickly improved Cruise's relationship with the studio. That's all for now. Please support our channel by subscribing and leaving a comment. See you next time.